Hello, I'm ABX Welcome back to Seed Sunday. Seed Sunday is a weekly series I run on my channel where I show Seed's Minecraft console edition, which are particularly interesting and worth checking out in some way. And this week's Seed is definitely both those things and a whole bunch more, because basically it has a lot of the new TU31 biomes, which isn't too impressive by itself. You might see a lot of seeds like that kind of suck in other ways. This week's Seed is definitely the opposite of that, however, because it has, all the new TU31 biomes you would probably like. So it has a Savannah biome, it has a Savannah End biome, it has an Ice Spikes, it has a Mega Tiger, it has a Roof Forest and a Mesa just over the mountain, all really close to spawn. So all the cool new biomes, all really close to spawn. But on top of having that stuff, it also has a really nice flat land at spawn for building and just getting animals with. But also on top of that, it has two NPC villages, both with blacksmith chests as well as an ocean monument. So yeah, lots of awesome cool stuff I want to share with you today. Hopefully you do all enjoy Seed Sunday. If you do, please do like the video and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you do want to keep seeing these every single Sunday on the channel. With that said, this week's Seed is going to be on screen right now. It actually came in from Delvin4519 again, so big thank to him. He's been helping out with a lot of Seed Sundays recently, and yeah, if you type this seed in, you'll spawn just over here. So this is why I mock spawn with a beacon. Basically, depending on where you spawn, you're going to see a few key points of interest, whether it's the Ice Spikes, whether it's the Mega Tiger, but the thing you're going to want to always head towards first, because it's also the closest, is the blacksmith chest over here. So the blacksmith chest is just a 10-15 second run away, and from literally spawn 15 seconds, you can get yourself a bunch of cool stuff. Because if you look inside, although it varies from platform to platform, if you're on the Xbox 360 or One, I believe, you will be able to get yourself a iron chestplate, an iron sword, and some iron ingots and some apples. And even if your chest sucks because you're playing the Wii U and maybe it has, like, I don't know, 2 apples and a piece of bread, 1, you could make an apple sandwich, which would be nice, but 2, there's also a bunch of other food in the village which you can take for free. Always a good start to a world, having a bunch of bread or having a bunch of potatoes or carrots. And this particular village has quite a few planters, but on top of a bunch of free food, which is always nice, and on the top of a bunch of free stuff from the blacksmith chest, you can also find a very glitchy village in general, which is always just fun to look at in my opinion. So first of all, here you can see, so by the way, this village is to the very south, like east of the map. First of all, over here you can actually see there is a tree which kind of combined with a well. It's very bizarre, and I don't know, I think the villagers are just as confused as I am. I think this is pretty cool personally, but as well as that, you can also see a tree tried combined with the house, and in general, very glitchy village, which is pretty cool to look at if you ask me. Obviously, to the south, you can check out a desert if you want, I don't know, cacti and desert stuff, but if you don't, you might want to head to the north instead, because if you head further to the north, you'll see this extreme hills biome over here, by the way, right next to spawn, which is pretty cool because it has lots of floating lands. I really like floating lands in extreme hills biome, but in case that's not your thing, in case settling up here and making a house where you get a nice view of everything isn't your type of thing, what you might prefer instead is to go to the blacksmith chest, which is actually in the extreme hills technically, because the village is in the extreme hills, because this generated just over here on the very edge of it, which is kind of interesting if you ask me. But yeah, with that said, if you see here, you can see there's 2 MC villager houses and a blacksmith chest. So for me, at the very least, this wasn't quite as good, but again, your results will vary from platform to platform. Here are just 2 iron ingots, an iron horse armor, and 3 bits of bread. Pretty nice stuff, I think, anyway. It might be better, might be worse. Regardless of what it is, you might also enjoy the hole next to the village. So yeah, even though it's a tiny village, they do, they have a big hole here that they presumably dug themselves, because if you look down here, you can see it takes you all the way down to diamond lair without a single bit of digging needed, which means if you want to save your iron pickaxe for potential diamond mining, all you have to do is follow this cave all the way down, and you can do that, which is awesome. I think these are relatively rare, finding a cave which goes all the way from the surface right the way down to diamond lair, and this cave has it covered pretty well, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, obviously there's also blacksmith villages you can trade with, and just villages in general. I think it's pretty good stuff. But in case that's not the point of interest that interests you the most, you might want to head even further to the north, because you'll find the first part of the Mesa Biome. Pretty good stuff here too, as you can see. I don't know, I think these biomes are always interesting to look at, but the interesting part to me is if you head further to the north, you'll actually see the second part. So again, lots of red sand, and then the bigger part, that the Mesa Biome. This is the more striking bit. It has all the stained clay. You might want to build a statue or something like that. I don't know. Either way, this is what you can get from here. And interesting enough, this is kind of like a glitch, because it goes all the way to the edge of the world, and it presumably would go further if it could, which is something that if you can't tell, most of the biomes try not to do. If you look, there's a big kind of bit of water here to stop that from happening. This kind of glitched and just said, no, it's not going to happen, and it means it goes right up to the very edge. And this means a handy little technique is you can actually ender pearl off and see the whole thing, or if you're in creative, or you can do this in survival, but it's kind of tricky, you can actually hide back here by just doing like this. So in case you're playing hide and seek in survival, which I don't know why you would, but in case you are, there's a very handy hiding spot on this exact seed. So with that said, let's move on from the Mesa Biome, because obviously there's a bunch more to show you. Because if we actually head to the southwest, kind of close water spawn, you'll first of all see the roof forest. It's a reasonably sized roof forest. I mean, it's one you could actually get kind of lost in, which is always nice to me, with a big ravine going through the center, which is always nice. There's also a Mega Tiger over here, which we'll come back to later, but most importantly, back at the spawn, there is the Savannah M biome. So the coolest thing about the Savannah M is not just the fact that they're pretty rare and that's the whole thing they have here, it's the fact that this actually breaks the rules of temperature in Minecraft. Temperature is meant to mean that the hottest biomes can't generate next to the coldest ones, but if you look here closely, you can see it's the Savannah M, one of the hottest in the game, right next to an Ice Spikes, one of the coldest in the game, which is a really interesting contrast. So you see, the mountain just goes from, oh, yeah, this is Savannah, to, oh, okay, Ice Spikes. So I think this is an awesome place to sell a house, because again, it's like a perfect combination of two separate biomes, right? But yeah, in general, if you just want a nice, unique place, you can sell down here, because it also has, you can also see from here, one of the biggest ice spikes I've ever seen on the console, all in one biome. As you can see, this is just one giant ice spikes that just goes and goes and goes and goes, and if you really want a lot of packed ice in the seed, then this one's got you covered. Also, by the way, one of my favorite things about this is the fact that there's a big lava pit just chilling in the middle of the, the ice spikes too, because, logic doesn't need to be a thing here. Oh, also, I forgot to mention it, just while we're back here, if you look, one of the Savannah trees, the acacia trees, is actually like, it's inside the ice spikes biome, which means that it's also a very, very different color than you might expect. It's kind of cool if you ask me. Super cool little color. So yeah, with that said, big ice spikes biome you might like. If you like, snowy biomes, this one's got you covered, because there's a cold taiga, there's the ice spikes, there's the ice plains, and just in general, all the types of icy biomes that you might just want. And because this is relatively flat too, you might want to settle down and build here as well, which again, really, really flat, only requires a tiny bit of settling, and then you get snow instead of rain, which is a nice little trade-off if you ask me. In case that's not your thing, you might want to head further to the north here, because there is a very tiny, is this a flower forest? But yeah, there's a very tiny forest here. But if you head further to the north than that, maybe take a boat, we're going to night vision ourselves quickly, you'll actually be able to find a ocean monument. So the ocean monument is found at these coordinates just over here. So as you can see, minus 376, minus 124. Just going to make sure everyone knows these, because yeah, having an ocean monument is a really hard to find on console these days, it seems. When you do find them, most of the seeds are going to be ocean. As you can see, this seed isn't too much ocean, it's just kind of got one big one over here. And yeah, if you actually look inside, you can get all the cool stuff you might like. I'm still not sure if ocean monuments generate randomly or they're based on the seed, but in case it is based on the seed, as you can see, this particular one I got is very handy. Again, I'll have to look into that and make sure I check all that stuff in a little bit, but yeah, for now, pretty cool ocean monument. If it is based on the seed, you're in luck. Even if it's not, then you've still got a really cool ocean monument of some form that you can do awesome stuff with. So yeah, with that said, let's head further to the north of this, because you'll find kind of the continuation of the taiga biome, as well as some more swamp, in case that's your thing. I don't think swamp is anyone's thing, but if it is, then yeah. But in case it's not, there's also a jungle biome over here. Pretty cool stuff if you ask me. And yeah, this jungle biome is reasonably sized too. And again, a lot of people really like jungle biomes now that they seem a lot rarer after TU31. And if that is you, if that's a perfect description of you and yourself, then you might really like this place. However, we're going to have to go back to the Mega Tiger, or the Tiger and the Mega Tiger, because one, I haven't shown it off properly. It's pretty cool, it's pretty big, and I think they're always cool to check out for the first time, in case you somehow haven't seen one yet. But as well as that, there is the end portal just over here. So very, very close to the center of the map, literally only 50 blocks off, being the exact center, which is always a nice place to find it. You can find the Stronghold and the end portal. So yeah, this is the end portal coordinates, and the thing about this Stronghold that really interested me is the fact that it's like a really easy to work out kind of way. So, like layout, I guess, because basically, if you look around the place, it seems to have a very simple layout of just like one center kind of block. So here you can see we head through here, and it actually leads back to over here, and we could also go back over here. Basically, it's a really easy kind of layout to get, in my opinion. It's reasonably small, so you can go through the whole thing, but it also has a bunch of chests. So again, these are going to vary from platform to platform. This one has diamonds, which is always awesome if you ask me. This one, I think it might have, okay, it just has apples. I know that I found one of the chests around here, which did have enderpearls in there, which is awesome if you ask me. And because a lot of it just goes to dead ends like this, it's just it's a really easy to explore Stronghold with 3 chests, if I'm not mistaken, which is awesome stuff. So yeah, that brings us to the end of today's Seed Sunday. All the new biomes that are interesting anyway, as well as having an ocean monument, as well as having a pretty cool Stronghold, as well as having 2 blacksmith chests and a bunch of flatlands for a lot of different building. I hope you did all enjoy today's video going over this seed. If you did like it and you intend to use it, let me know with a like and or a comment. Like again, I'm always interested to see what people do with these seeds. Like, oh yeah, I really like the seed toy cat, but the thing that really interested me was the swamp biome, and I'll be like, oh really? And yeah, let me know what you're going to be using the seed for in the comments down below if you are going to use it. As well as that, let me know what seeds you do want to see in the future, because I'm obviously doing a lot of searching all the time. And yeah, besides that, I hope you did all enjoy today's video, because I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.